So, hello everybody, and good evening from Sarawak, from Borneo. Today, right now, it's 30 July 2026 on Thursday. So we are so in Sarawak in Borneo, we are basically 8 hours ahead of the universal time coordinate. So in case you want to know why, that's basically it. And anyhow, we are going to watch this launch. Specifically, it's about this SpiceSat launch. This SpiceSat satellite launch of the NROs. In case you want to know, NRO actually stands for the National Reconnaissance Office. Okay, and and basically NROL stands for National Reconnaissance Office Launch. So that's basically in the nutshell. We are going to see that soon. But first, before we go live for today, how about we just go and check out whatever we need, shall we? Because, well, why not? And I will go now. So let's go. We are not going to waste too much time. So hello everybody, and good evening once again from Sarawak. From Borneo. It's almost 3 p.m. or specifically we are at 2:57:15 p.m. here on 30 July 2026 on Thursday. So yeah, some of you already just crossed into the Thursday. Some of you still in the Wednesday, but whatever you are, ha- hap- ha- happy great day or night or whatever is it, because we are going to watch these specific launches of the SpaceX's Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket that will be carrying the NRO, okay, the National Reconnaissance Office's NROL-95. Okay, NROL is basically like similar to the initialism NRO as well, but L actually stands for the launch. Specifically, this is going to be NROL-95, and for this launch, it's highly suspected that the launch for today it's going to be, from what I can get some kinds of information, especially from the NASA Spaceflight Forum, it's going to be the fourth generation of the NOS, okay, NOSS, that actually stands for the Naval Ocean Surveillance System satellite system, yeah, something like that. So basically, it's going to be that, okay, but well, but just like since this is a spy satellite, the reconnaissance satellite, basically doing all of this kind of whoever, what like what we don't know what they are doing behind the scene, but basically from what I can gather, just like the name itself, it's basically intercepting. It should be in theory intercepting any kinds of signal from the other naval ship, especially with the warships, whatever is it and whatnot. And that's basically to also track not only their own country, especially with the US side as well, United States side, could be also be used for any kinds of other nations if they will really want to point to. But otherwise, that's basically going to be for this mission. Yeah, and since we are not 100% sure what, and so far from what I can gather, other than from what I know, the NOS one, the very early first generation, which was launched back in the 1970s, 1980s, something like that, we don't know this kind of specific, how do I say, specific stuff about this satellite, about this spy satellite mission. But however, we might get some glimpse of the best idea. So I'm going to move it here instead. We shall be able to see what you need to see. So let's go. And for this one, while we're still waiting, this is the NASA Spaceflight Forum article about this one. You can read it down in the link description that I've already provided as well. And that's as best as we can get. And yeah, not much else. This is the past information, but look at that. If you actually see from the drop off zone, especially from here, this, yeah, most, I can say that the most closely, let's just say, the spaceflight kind of community that closely follow this kind of launches, they basically got some kinds of idea and they saw it and they said, well, this could be the like this likely could be the fourth generation NOS satellite instead, the spy satellite. So this is the drop off zone in case you're very interested. And another one as well. Okay, another drop off zone. Okay, this one is pretty near in case any problem, but yeah, this one is this will be launched from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, from the Slick 40 Space Launch Complex 40, in case you want to know how is it. So that's basically it. And yeah, the mission patch there, this one is, as usual, by NRO. They really have one of the best classic mission patch design. I can actually give them that credit, and that's why usually whenever I try to do this kind of research about them, actually this is one of the things that even in the spaceflight community we actually very appreciate it. And very good design. You can see the ferret there with the emblazed logo there, with the "We Are Champions," and also SpaceX with their stuff, almost similar, identical stuff, but you can see, yeah, this is a little bit minimized, but I actually like this. It's not too minimal, it's just that good enough. Yeah, because nowadays, if you especially see on the, how do I say, on the side of the, give me a bit second, what do I want to say? Okay, especially if you see on a bit side of the of the space flight, any rocket launches this day, it's way too minimal, to the point that it's not really interesting to look at sometimes. But well, not this time. And yeah, basically that's going to be launch, and it's still going on. And apparently there's also another one, hazard zones, you can see there. Okay, and also the flight trajectory. If you see from this one, I can tell based on this, yeah, how many degrees is it? Yeah. And also another one, this one for the stage entry zone as well, if you're very interested. Yeah, we are going to see that soon. Oh, and also large late burn dog leg maneuver will perform as well for land avoidance. Okay, so in other words, according to this one, in additional information, okay, this will leave the stage in the preliminary orbit of around 150 by 1,200 kilometers of orbit altitude, with the 60 degrees of orbit. So basically, it says here that the payload is likely looking for the 63.4 degrees inclination. Oh, right. Okay, that's actually can explain as well, especially if you look at this one. Okay, but I try to scroll as much as possible, because the launch obviously is going to go well. Okay, we are not going to waste too much time. Okay, another launch hazard zone here and there. Okay, so yeah, especially based on the early statement as well from the Galactic Penguin. Yeah, where is he say? Where is this person literally says about the NOS itself? Yeah, this one. So Yeah, so that's why. Another proof is that because there's a previous precedent, especially with the NRL 85, NRL 69, and also NRL 77. So the target orbit for this payload, it should be 1,000 by 12, 1,000 by 1,200 kilometers with the 63.4 degrees of orbit inclination. So that's basically how we got to this point. And yeah, we are not going to waste too much time. I will try do my best. Anyways, I like listening to this song, especially if you if you really wanna listen, have a listen with the song All Photograph, yeah, by Warren Wybe, Warren Wybe, I guess, fit Sadao, who is it? Yeah, fit Sadao Watanabe. So if you're very interested, you can hear it, and I really have a very great time with that. Okay, and we are not going to cover too much, but this is the Parse, the NOS-1 White Cloud satellite. This one also apparently being unofficially given the designation of the NOS-2. This one is pretty early in the flight mission, especially you can see. Okay, this is how the designs actually looks like. Okay, so apparently they also can maintain the assigned position in a group at distance of 30 to 240 kilometers each other. This one is pretty early, especially with the NOS-2 slash NOS-1 here you can see. And even if you see on the typical orbit, can you believe it? It's actually pretty close to the target here. So you can say this is a quite continuation for that kind of stuff. 1,050 kilometers by 1,100 by 1,150 kilometers at the 63 degrees orbit inclination. So you can see the pattern is there, and up, and then after that the improved NOS-2, essentially it's basically using the similar around orbit point with this one, and possibly the satellite design is a little bit way bigger, and then later on moving with the NOS-3, the third generation, is the intruder one, set one until how many is it, until 16. Okay, this one, each pair of the mass satellite payload is 6,500 kilometers, 6,500 kilograms each pair, targeting. This one is circular orbit at around 1,100 kilometers circular orbit. So yeah, that's it. And I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's go straight to the point, shall we? Okay, so basically this is it. This is good news. We've got live. Okay. Okay, stage 2 apparently already complete. Okay, so sorry, a little bit
Falcon
of
9 is
problem.
now fully
Okay,
loaded with 1 million pounds of RP1 and liquid
okay,
oxygen, or LOX.
okay. So
Coming
here
up
is it.
next, we should start hearing the
Get
call out
ready
for
for the
gas
launch.
closeouts.
Okay, get ready for the vent close out.
Ground gas closeouts.
Okay, so
Gas
already
closeout has started,
ground
and that refers
close
to
out, and
venting
then
and closing
and
out
just to
gaseous
give you
systems
a bit
such
of
as
quick
topping off
overview,
tanks and sealing vents to maintain pressure. Coming up
the
in just a few
Falcon 9
seconds,
Block 5
Falcon
rocket
9
is
will enter
you
startup.
don't need too much of the introduction, but just in case you're not being very aware, this is a two-stage rocket. Yeah, this is a two-stage rocket, a Kerolox propellant, which liquid oxygen is the oxidizer. Okay, the Falcon 9 is
Falcon
in
9 has
startup.
entered startup.
Okay, automatic startup, and
At this
liquid
point, the
oxygen is the
autonomous flight
oxidizer,
computers have
and
taken
the
over the launch
super refined
countdown,
kerosene
and
rocket
stages 1
propellant
and
one as
2
the
are
fuel
pressurizing for
itself.
launch.
And on the first
We're
stage,
just
it's actually
waiting
powered by
now
the
for the final
N9
G is
Merlin
go for
1D.
launch.
Okay,
There's
launch
that
director has
final
already given go for the
call
launch.
out from
Okay,
the
it's
launch
powered.
director.
First stage powered
Let's
by
sit
the
back and watch
9
as
Merlin
Falcon 9
1D
takes
sea level
NROL
rocket
into
engine.
space.
While on the second stage, it's
T
basically
minus 30 seconds.
okay, T minus 30 seconds. Basically, basically uses the same Merlin 1D but expanded up wider and bigger the nozzle for the use in the vacuum environment. And anyhow, we are getting right in T minus 15 seconds, 14, 13, 12, 11, T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition of 9 Merlin 1D sea level rocket engines on the first stage and liftoff of the Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket carrying the NRO's National Reconnaissance Office NROL-95, the spy reconnaissance satellite for the suspected Naval Ocean Surveillance System. Okay, this one should be launched on Pair as well, should be. And we have liftoff from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station from the Space Launch Complex 40, Slick 40. And we have already reached to the Mach 0.5. Okay, which by this point the rocket engine should have already throttled back down to 60%. And here we go, look at that plume. Due to the complex hydrocarbon burning. Okay, supersonic, Mach 1. And get ready for the max Q to the peak mechanical stress of the rocket itself. Get ready for the max Q. Alright, max Q. Maximum aerodynamic pressure fully exerted and peak on the rocket itself. And at the point, that's very important. You don't really want any kinds of weird structure to the rocket itself, bending, broken and whatnot. So that's why max Q is very important phase, and it passes by pretty well. And G-force is 2.5 G, and all 9mm1D engine has already performed very well, and the second stage has already started its cool down, the chill down, in preparation for the ignition, so it's not going to melt the rocket engine itself but by the time it ignites on the second stage. Okay, so by now the altitude for the first stage is 41 kilometers. Velocity is 4,800 kilometers per hours, and G-force right now is 3.6 G. Everything is looking pretty fine, and this will be slightly throttled down back in preparation for the Miko. Okay, main gen cut off. Main gen cut off confirmed. Stage separation confirmed. Here we go. And then Merlin 1D vacuum engine start there. Okay, and due to the classified nature, of course, we are not going to see the rest of it. But anyhow, everything is good. And now the boost back return, boost back return for the first stage is ongoing with the only 3 out of 9 Merlin 1D sea level rocket engines is igniting so far. And altitude right now is 93 and 94 kilometers of the first stage booster, and due to the classified nature, we are not going to see even the pellet frame separation, which will be occurring soon. Okay. Okay, pellet frame separation confirmed, which now exposes the NROL-95 to the space environment. Okay, G-force, you can see on the first stage, it's basically almost peaking around 5 Gs or around 4.9 Gs from what I can see. And then, the first two pair sets on the left and right shut down first, followed by the core engines there. So basically like 2 shut down and then 1 shut down fully to the 0. And that's basically the completion of the boost back return. So that's basically it. And so far, wow. So far the altitude on the first stage is it's actually looking not slightly, it's way higher than the usual. So you know what does that mean? Okay, 140 kilometers should be, because 140 kilometers because the velocity is still going
the entry
minus,
burn,
and as you
Falcon
can
9
see,
is
the
decelerating by
thunderstorm,
firing its Merlin engines in the
it's
direction of moving.
basically
This
everywhere
causes the
around the
rocket to
cloud,
fly through the engine's
and that's
exhaust
very
gases, which
interesting
deposits a
observation.
layer of soot on the
Altitude
vehicle
is
surface.
141
This
kilometers.
is what gives
Oh,
SpaceX's
lightning
flight-proven vehicles their
striking there.
characteristic look.
And now the
That
velocity
soot
is
comes from
going
carbon-based
up
fuel that
again,
Falcon
which
9
already
uses, and with each
demarking,
flight, that
it's
soot
already
builds up
reaches
a
to
little
the
more on the
highest
outside of the vehicle.
altitude of 141 kilometers. And velocity is back
Falcon
again
9 is
to
still more
almost
than 1 minute away from the
1,600
beginning of the entry
kilometers
burn.
per hour. And the
The
flight
booster is equipped with
T
4
plus
hypersonic
5
grid
minutes into the
fins,
flight.
which are
And in
positioned
case you
near
want
the
to
top of the
know,
first
T
stage
actually
and used for
stands for
steering
the
as it returns to Earth.
terminal countdown.
These are the primary
The
aerodynamic control
also there's
surfaces
also
for
another
the first stage during
how do I say?
atmospheric re-entry
There's
and descent.
also
Grid fins
quite
are a critical part of Falcon 9's reusability system.
similar stance as well
Reusability is key
with
to
the
lowering the
L.
cost
L
of
actually stands for
spaceflight,
the launch.
enabling more
Okay,
investments
but
in
it
critical
can
space
also be used
infrastructure.
quite
The Falcon 9
interchangeably,
first
but
stage that is supporting today's mission is
usually we
performing
like to
this
use
entry burn for the 7th
T plus
time.
or T minus more than using L plus or L minus like that. Yeah, so that's basically it. And the velocity is still rising up, almost
Falcon
3,000
9
kilometers
is
per
moments
hour.
away from the beginning of the
Altitude is
entry burn. You should see the
118
graphics light up as the
kilometers
engines do on
for
the
the
bottom
first
of your
stage.
screen.
Okay, so this is rare. Okay, the animations telemetry. So that's pretty rare. Okay, surprisingly, that's rare to see, especially it. Okay, T plus 6 minutes. Okay, which by now should be 360 seconds into the flight. Okay, everything should be fine. Okay, ready? Okay, so already enters back from the
We should
internationally
be just
defined
seconds away from an entry
defined
burn
space
called out
boundary, 100
here.
kilometers or 80 miles in the imperial system, and get ready in for the entry burn also. Okay, so officially already entered back from the US defined space boundaries, which is 80 kilometers or 60 miles. So already done. And get ready for the entry burn to start, as the grid fin also going to guide as well for this flight. Okay, get ready.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Okay, stage 1 entry
There's
burn
the
has
call
already
out
started.
for the entry burn
The first
startup
stage.
on the Falcon
Okay,
9
first
first
set,
stage.
followed by another
This
second
burn
set.
is set to last about 17 seconds, and
Okay,
again,
so
it is
in case you
slowing
want
down
to
the
know,
vehicle in
the
preparation
grid
for its
fin
final burn
that
and
actually
landing.
guiding this flight actually originally in the very
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
early flight of the Falcon
We
9
just heard the call out there for entry burn shutdown,
rocket.
signifying the
Okay,
completion of the
it
first
uses
stage entry burn.
it used to be
Coming up next will
carbon
be the
fiber,
first stage landing burn at about
as the
T plus
SpaceX already
8 minutes.
do this kind of research, and especially you can see the not hypersonic, it's more like supersonic reentry. Especially you can see it's pretty hot, and they
Stage
determine
2
that
is in
it's
terminal guidance.
okay. Stage 2 terminal guidance. Okay, and especially
This
when
is the
they
final burn
evaluate
the booster uses to reduce the
Stage 1 FTS.
that it actually chips off lots of the
Stage 1
materials
transonic.
using the carbon fiber. They decided to just
This is the
change it
Stage
into
2 STF is safe.
they just changed it to the titanium alloy, and since then that didn't happen that much. So that's why till this day they are using the titanium alloy.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Okay, stage 1 landing burn has already started. First set
that call
there,
out means this is
and
the final
this will be
burn the
landing
booster
to
will see
the
before
landing zone 2, LZ2
This final
or
burn
LZ2,
uses
whatever you want to call it.
Impact shutdown.
Okay, second stage has already done its job into the preliminary orbit. Okay, and here we go. Landing
Stage
leg
1
should.
landing leg deploy.
Okay, landing leg
Terminal
has already
orbit insertion.
deployed. And touchdown. Landing burn has already
Stage 1 landing
confirmed.
confirmed.
And stage 1 has
There's
already
another
done its
successful landing
job.
for
So
Falcon
once
9.
again, already done its job.
As
If I remember
mentioned at
correctly,
the
that
top
one
of
is
the
the
program, we will not be
booster
showing any stage 2 or
B1096, if I
deployment
remember
views
correctly.
today at the
So
request of our
for this
customer.
mission.
So, with
So
the successful recovery of
yeah.
Falcon 9's first
Anyhow,
stage, we'll be bringing
the
today's live
second
mission coverage to a close.
yeah.
We'd like to thank the
So
National
anyhow,
Reconnaissance Office for
the
entrusting
second stage
SpaceX with today's
suspectedly
mission, as well as
costing
the
around the
range and the
150
FAA for their
by
support. If you're
1,000
interested in more launch coverage, head on
kilometers
over
or
to
1,200 kilometers by now,
SpaceX.com/launches for
with
the
the
most up-to-date information.
orbit inclination
While
of
you're there, check out
orbital
the
inclination
departure
of
board for
63
details
degrees.
on
So
SpaceX's upcoming
this is
missions.
so
And
it's
of
pretty
course, remember to
elliptical
follow at
low Earth
SpaceX
orbit
on
for
X
now,
for ongoing
but it's going
updates.
to be
Thanks for
almost
joining, and we'll see you again soon.
circular rise. Yeah, so it's going to be almost circularized for the mission. And that's basically it. We have already complete everything else that we need. Okay. So thank you so much everybody for watching. We have already done it for this mission. Yeah. And just to give you right now where is currently where is it? Yeah. Okay. So I stand a little bit corrected here. Let me show you. Okay. So the preliminary orbit for now, suspectedly, it's around 150 by 1,200 kilometers after the Merlin 1D vacuum engine on the second stage already shut down. Okay, right now around 60 degrees of the orbital inclination. So yeah, once they have already reaches to the most upper point around 1,200 kilometers, something like that, or almost around that highest point, which is what we call as the apogee altitude, and this lowest altitude 150 kilometers is basically the perigee. Okay, in case you want to know. So around this 1,200 kilometers or a little bit lower like that, the Merlin 1D rocket engines, it's going to ignites one more time, not only to just circularize this NROL-95 classified spy reconnaissance satellite, but also at the same time it's also going to slightly can that orbital inclination from 60 degrees to 63.4 degrees. So basically you got the idea why especially in the spaceflight community, and especially myself, highly suspected that this is the fourth generation of the Naval Ocean Surveillance Systems satellite. So yeah, the NOS4. So that's basically it. We have already completed the stream, and yeah, and also I was correct. It's the first stage booster that's already landed right now is the B1096 on its seventh flight. Okay, with the 75-day turn around. So already completed its mission. That's basically what we want to know. And that's it. We have already really complete, but once more, I need to remind you as well. Next week on Tuesday, if there's not much problem on my side, I cannot 100% guarantee, but in case you are very interested to know, there are highly possibility we might see the launch of the Long March 8A rocket. They will be carrying, if I remember, this one will be for the SatNet Leo Group 23. Okay, 9 satellites on board this mission. It is a satellite constellation, in case you want to know. Okay, this is the rocket involved in this mission, and this will be launching from the Wenchang Commercial Space Launch Site. Yeah, even though the name itself is commercial, it's basically still a government owned anyways. But the distinction is that the non-commercial is basically central government owned, but the commercial side it's basically like half central government and half local government in China. Basically, it's located around the Hainan Island. In case you want to know, this will be another next launch as well, which will be launching on Tuesday, 4 August 2026 on at 4:50 p.m. here, local time in Sarawak in Borneo. We are 8 hours ahead of the universal time coordinate, in case you want to know. And yeah, this is going to be the next in my target, but I cannot 100% guarantee if I can stream around this time or not, but I'll try. I'm trying, okay? So please be patient. And for the Starling, as usual, Starling Group 17-52 on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, 25 July 2020. 1 August 2026. Sorry, I have a little bit of weird brain fart today, but it's okay. It's on 1 August 2026. Yeah, precisely the first day of August at 10 a.m. on Saturday. This one launching Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket, but I'm not going to stream anything Starlink launches related because, well, it has basically become so routine. You got way too bored. I mean, even looking from these NRL kind of launches, and from my experience, Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket is so common. Practically, there's not many people watching here. Yeah, this is not me saying you shouldn't watch. It's just like it's already become so routine. You might you might you might as well not even watching it anyway. So that's why for the Starlink, I'm going to set it's going to happen maybe again now another 2 or 3 months or even 4 months from now before I will go again stream the Starlink launches. And again on Tuesday 10 p.m. here on for August 2026, which will be the launch of the Starlink Group 17-53 on 10 p.m. here. Okay, but I'm not going to stream this as well for the aforementioned reason that I've already given here. And another one which will be for the launch next week, Jialong 3, okay, launching from the offshore of the Haiyang Oriental Spaceport. Okay, this one will be launching from if I remember, from the Shandong area of China. Okay, this one, which will be the 2 satellites will be launching from for this mission. If I remember, there's actually the name itself. The name from what I can gather is basically Dongfang inside hyperspectral. So this is going to be the launch of it. The 2 pair, there's actually a pair of it. Not the first one is the Jinshan star, and the second one is the Yinshan star. So basically, that's going to be the launch of it. Okay, which will be launching on 5 August 2026 on Wednesday, 10:35 a.m. here local time in Sarawak and Borneo. Okay, just to give you some reminder. And then another one as well at around evening, which will be the launch of the Bluebird 11 to 13. No need much introduction. It's basically Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket. Okay, at 3:42 p.m. on the same day as well, with the if there's no kinds of cancellation, the same day with the Jelong 3 launch. Okay, 3 Bluebird satellite constellation. Okay, another one. And then Michibiki 7, which is the QZSS kind of launch, the quasi-zenith set. How do I say quasi-zenith satellite systems? Yeah, just in case, so I'm not stumbling on even pronouncing it. Okay, this is the Michibiki 7, the QZS7. This is sort of, I can say, not the replacement for the QZS5, Michibiki 5, which actually failed on the launch. Basically, it's already failed just after the first stage already done its job, separated, and then basically it got detached out. So basically, on the second stage ignition of the H322S back in the December 2025, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I also do cover it. Basically, the second stage carries no satellite at that point. Basically, at that point, it became a ghost payload at that point, because it's non-existent. There's no satellite on board that mission, so it's basically carrying nothing. It's a ghost rocket after that. It's just igniting and then bringing in the non-existent payload at the point after the payload adapter. If I remember correctly, the payload adapter itself, what happens is that there's like significant crack, especially after the payload fairing separation on the H322S rocket itself. After it crack, at some points the inertia of the of of the acceleration of the rocket itself still on the first stage still carries it, but by the time the first stage engine, the LE9, it shut downs. Basically it's just separated, and then this payload, the supposed payload, the QZS-5, the Mitsubishi 5, it's basically just floating around separated from the second stage. And basically when by the time second stage igniting, some of this bulkhead pressure, it's no longer able to properly fully hold it properly, so the pressure's slowly leaking out, and that's how the second stage basically ignites way longer than what it should. So essentially the second stage, it carries a ghost payload, it carries a non-existent payload and anymore at that point. Yeah, so pretty interesting explanation, isn't it? That's basically how I like to explain. It's basically carrying a ghost payload, no non-existent payload afterward. Yeah, and it's basically already went QZS-5 already ventures back to Earth even before it reaches to the destination. So unfortunately, after the first stage engine cut off, the main engine cut off from the MECO part. And then later on, for the ESAR Aerospace, they will be launching the Spectrum rocket, but we are not pretty sure if they're going to launch it around this time on 6 or 7. Yeah, no 6-7 meme, pun intended. Okay, this is not. I'm being very serious here. Okay, this one for the onward and upward mission, which will be launching from the Andoya spaceport. Yeah, the Andoya rocket range is the former name. In case you want to know, this one will be launching from the Northland, Norway, around the, how do I say, the Arctic part of the area, the northern part of it. Okay, so it's not exactly the newest launch pad, in case you want to know. And that's basically almost it. And then another one I will cover up here also for the next week, which will be launch for the Starlink Group 17-38 on 8 August 2026, 10 p.m. here local time, but the time can change a bit. Okay, launching on board the Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket from the Vandenberg Space Force base from the Space Launch Complex 4 East, Slick 4E. Yeah, no need more introduction, but this one also, just like I mentioned before, I won't be streaming the Starlink launches as it became way too frequent, and it got people, even myself, pretty much bored. Anyway, so we are not going to stream the same thing. That one we will only reserve this for few months from now, basically. And this also will apply even on the future, any kinds of future satellite constellation. If it's also as frequent as Starlink, I also have the right not to stream it for quite some times, until a bit point, to keep the stream rotation fresh, and also to make sure that you and I and literally everyone else felt very interested to watch every rocket launches. And finally, and basically that's it. This one, which will be another week as well, but after that, that's basically we are going to cover a point as well. And hopefully I can stream this one, the Nancy Grace Roman Space Telescope NGR-ST. Hopefully I can stream this, because it will be launching on board what I consider this as a really rare rocket ever operated by SpaceX. So this is a really kind of occasion that I really want to stream. And also another one notable is that, because of course this is not just a new kinds of space telescope. This is the flagship space telescope that since JWST launched back in December 2021, or especially 25 December 2025, 25 December 2021, on Christmas Day 2021, on board the Ariane 5 ECA plus, if I remember correctly. So that's basically it. And that's it. And also for the Chang'e 7 lunar mission, okay, which will be launching on board the Long March 5, I'm pretty 100% sure there's going to be official stream rather than unofficial stream like I usually will do stream for this Chinese space flight and rocket launches. Yeah, this one should be officially available. So we are going to say that soon. And anyhow, thank you so much. I've already finished up all of my, how do I say, my energy reserve right now to speak. So thank you so much everybody for coming in. I really do appreciate your time here. And yay, we've already done everything else that we need to cover. So thank you so much everybody for watching. And I'm going to go with the closing remark right now because I do want to have a bit of break. And yeah, and also because I know why you also as well I need to consider. So thank you so much everybody for watching. I'm Daniel Suguwa, your host today for the launch of the SpaceX's Falcon 9 Block 5 rocket carrying the NROL-95 satellite operated by the NRO, the National Reconnaissance Office. Okay, this one launched from the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station from the Slick 40, aka the Space Launch Complex 40. We have already seen it, and this is highly suspected to be the fourth generation of NOS satellite, aka the Naval Ocean Surveillance Systems. So other than that, we don't know the whole kinds of shape, how it looks like here and there, because it's as always the military secrecy kind of stuff. What else do you want to know, right? So basically that's it. Thank you so much everybody for watching, and take care and stay safe, and goodbye. And yeah, and goodbye. Yeah. And that's it. Basically we've already done. And now just like Windows 95 remark here, Windows 95 remark here, I'm going to say here, just like Windows 95 shutdown says, you can safely turn off the computer after you have already clicked the shutdown, because back in the day, the early SCPI implementation is quite buggy at the time, so you have to manually shut down. This is also as well my remark as well. You can safely exit from the stream. Just enjoy your day. That's it. Don't make yourself too tired. And I'm going to close this stream. So thank you so much and stay safe. Bye bye. I'm also going to put in the timestamp as well for the T minus 10 seconds and the launch itself. So thank you. Yeah, so thank you so much. We'll see you soon. Bye bye and stay safe.